Dearest podcast with dynamic mother-daughter duo Simone and Olivia Knego, where they discuss the secrets of transformation and how to build bold confidence and unwavering resilience. From intimate conversations with inspiring guests to sharing their personal journeys of triumph and challenge, Simone and Olivia create a supportive space where every woman is encouraged to rise above her fears and love the woman in the mirror. Tune into the Daughter Dearest podcast and join this special journey of connection and growth.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Daughter Dearest podcast. I'm Simone Knego.
And I'm Olivia Knego.
And today we're talking about being overwhelmed because, we are both so overwhelmed right now. And I imagine you are too. It just seems like life goes in these cycles where I don't ever say I have a calm cycle, but today, my anxiety is at max and I feel so overwhelmed.
My calm cycle is when I'm ignoring my problems.
Okay, so. Well, yeah, that's not really effective, right? So,
yeah, no, not at all. Yeah. Gosh, talking to you actually makes me feel overwhelmed.
Because I was telling you all the things I'm overwhelmed with?
No, well, that, but also then while I was waiting for us to start, I started doing other things, and now I can't finish the things I need to do.
Oh, I apologize.
No, that's totally fine. That's my B.
I was like, God, you're making me feel really bad that I overwhelm you.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
Okay, good. So, okay, tell me what you're overwhelmed by right now, and tell me what steps you take to make it feel a little bit better.
Oh man, I don't know. I have problems that aren't necessarily easy to solve, that won't figure themselves out. How about that? I feel like that's the better word for it, because sometimes you have, it's a problem in the moment, but someone else is going to take care of it, or it'll probably just work itself out. All of mine, I have to put effort into currently, and I just need to get them done.
Yeah, you need more time in the day, which we don't have. So do you prioritize? What do you do?
I mean, I'm so ADHD that I just do them as they come.
Yeah, I feel right now that my stuff is quite overwhelming, and I'm making it more overwhelming. And that right there is overwhelming me. Everything I'm doing is overwhelming me right now. And we just had my sister was in town for a week, which was great to see her and her family. They came in from Switzerland, and that was awesome. But obviously, when you have guests in town, you can't do all of the things that you need to do in your normal everyday life. So I didn't get all the work I needed to get done.
Yeah.
I didn't get all the cleaning done. Plus, to add to it, I do have someone that comes and cleans for me once a week. She hasn't been here in 3 weeks. So I was scrubbing toilets and I was dusting, and okay, that's what I need to do. But I was like, oh my gosh, there is not enough time in the day to get it all done.
Yeah. Any disruption to my fragmented routine definitely affects my, system that I have to stop from getting overwhelmed. So and right now my room is actually rather clean, which is definitely my number one source. When I know I'm completely overwhelmed, my room is a mess, but it's starting to get there. My laundry needs done, and I really can't put off doing my laundry, but I don't have time to do my laundry.
Yeah, that's one thing it's easy for me because it's in the house and I just can throw it in and walk away and then come back and make the beds or whatever I need to do. But yeah, today was just one of those days. I think because I'm overcommitted. That's the other thing. And I know I've talked about this, and I literally said this last week, the power of saying no, right? Actually, yeah, it's such an important thing. And I've said yes to too many things. For example, even your dad has a big day today in surgery. He's got 4 cases, and then we're going out to dinner with the neighbors. And then tomorrow we're going out to dinner and a country music concert tomorrow night, which is, okay, this is a lot for me. And I have so much work to do, right?
Yeah.
I want to prioritize, but like, I feel like everything needs to be done at the same time right now. Like, I've let a couple of things go and they all need to be done.
Yeah, that's kind of the worst part. It never really stops, huh? Like, you can't just dust one time.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't just dust one time. You can't just, you're constantly working on yourself. You're constantly working on the things around you. So it's the strategies to keep you from completely falling into that pit, so like, okay, what am I going to do when we're done recording this? I'm going to go meditate for a few minutes because I really feel like yuck. I feel like, oh my gosh, and part of it is, I mean, let's be honest, I don't sleep well. So this week has been really late nights all week. And then to add to that, I got up really early this morning because when my sister and my brother-in-law came to pick up their kids, obviously I'm not going to sleep through that. So, and I couldn't fall back asleep after that. So
yeah, I've been having some really early mornings, actually. The past 2 days, I've woken up crazy early. And the day before, yesterday, I actually was pretty productive with my morning. Like, but it wasn't, yeah, I guess it was. Like, I cooked and I cleaned, which was nice. I guess all things that like need to get done. I don't know. I think it's just the time of year. I feel like April being tax season too. Like, I mean, I don't pay taxes, but I think everything else.
You do pay taxes. I just pay them for you.
Okay. I don't do my own taxes. So, but I think everything else, we're on such a quarter system because of the way the financials are run in the States that everything else kind of comes to a close at the same time too. Yeah. And I don't know, like I'm getting a bit overwhelmed with the idea of moving. Got to start cleaning out my room. My biggest stress right now is like timing of things. You said overcommitting. I didn't even overcommit. My things are just scheduled too close together. I have to pick up my rental car in Yonkers at 12, but then I have to be at an event in New York City at 2 tomorrow.
And where are you parking? You're going to park the car at her place and then take the train back? I'm going to ask very, very nicely I'm going on a road trip with my cousin for the solar eclipse that's coming up to Buffalo. And I'm going to ask her very nicely if she would consider hypothetically driving me back into the city for this event if I cannot move my rental time car up earlier. I don't know if that's the best idea.
Yeah, or I'll Uber.
Because it's a rental car.
Yeah, I know.
So, I know. Yeah, you got to.
I just have to call and see if I can get it earlier. I'm willing to go at like 9 a.m.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. It's just you probably have to pay a little bit more.
Yeah,
because of the return time. Like I said, 24-hour increments.
But mine's not even. I'll just call them.
Yeah. I feel like I'm overscheduled, and I have so many. What do they call it? So many things in the fire. So many. I'm just going to say so many logs on the fire because I don't know what the term is. I can't think of it, but I feel like
I don't even know this saying.
Well, when you have like so many things going on at the same time, you got to look it up because I don't remember what it is and I don't have my phone on me. But when you have so many things going on at the same time, you kind of don't know what to do first. And that's a little bit what I feel like right now is that thought I was done writing this new speech when I just got some advice to change a bunch of stuff. And that was overwhelming because I've had advice from 5 different people and it's 5 different pieces of advice. So like, okay, which direction do I go? I know I just have to decide on my own. Like I'm a big girl. I'm confident enough to know like what I need to do. And then trying to like delegate work because I have, the podcast, the speaking, the writing, the blogging, it's endless and I love it.
No, it truly is endless though. Like I love it too. Like I love all the things that I do. It's just sometimes I do really just want to like escape into the mountains,
Yeah, but the problem is you escape into the mountains. When you come back, all of the shit is still waiting for you.
Well, I'm saying not coming back. That's my thing.
Okay. You're just never coming back.
Yeah.
I don't
just
think you
running away.
That. I don't think you would.
No, I wouldn't at all, but just like need to figure this out.
Pretend today you do. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Today was just one of those days where I felt like, okay, I've got to vacuum. I've got to do the sheets from, and again, could it wait a day or so? Yeah, but I don't know why I'm not. I'm just trying to get it all done today. And then I'm on a conference until, well, for another 5 hours. And then we're recording this podcast, and then I have dinner the hour after I finish the conference. And yeah, it's just a lot. I think I'm stressing people out by saying that I'm stressed out. But so what I'm going to do is when I'm finished talking to you, I'm literally going to go put myself in a quiet space, meditate, and then have some lunch. And I think that'll really help. I mean, it's helped in the past. So I just need to tell myself, like, okay, if you don't finish it today, you finish it tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say that. That's what tomorrow is for. But today, I think
it just feels like everything's building up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think there's just so many things today that I feel like, okay, I can't really push that aside today. But I think most times I'm pretty good at handling the overwhelm, right? I have to be, or I would be in big trouble.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think you're a pretty balanced person in general, I would say, most of the time. I wish I was more balanced, but I don't know. It feels like I'm doing a lot. I don't really have such a routine right now, which I think definitely affects me. It's like I'm doing bits and bobs, I guess, is the best way of saying it. And there's definitely like, I don't know, I'm in my last, I think I'll double check. I'm 99% sure it's 44 days of undergrad. And so right now, a lot of my focus isn't just on like having a good time, you know, which is kind of also preventing my success in a way, because I'm not focusing on the things that I should be focusing on.
So why don't you change that?
In what way, you mean?
Well, I don't know. If you say you're not focusing on the things that you should be, I mean, that's an easy change. Focus on the things you should be.
Yeah, I know. I'm saving too much for tomorrow, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like this rental car thing, I should have called them earlier this week. I knew I had this problem, and now it's Friday, and I'm picking it up tomorrow.
What do you have at 2:00?
You're going to laugh at me.
Okay, I'm good. I want to laugh at you because I want to know what's so important that this is stressing you out.
Well, it is important, okay? I have an open bar event, so I have to be there right at 2. Don't laugh at me.
Oh
Stop.
My gosh, this is what
it's
your
free. It's free. Yes, quite literally, this is what I'm stressing about.
Oh gosh, you know what? I'll buy you a couple of drinks. How about that?
It's free.
I know, but if you're late to it, so what? You can make up with a couple of drinks that I buy you instead of completely stressing out over this. I thought like you had like some big thing for graduation or for school.
No. Okay, you know what? When you say it like that, it's minor. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. A lot of my stress right now is minor. Because the major stress I just honestly can't cope with. Like the idea of the fact that I have to be moved out of this apartment in almost 43 days, a little bit more than that, but essentially 43 days because I want to be all packed up. That's crazy.
Yeah, but you know you have 43 days, so you can do a little bit each day.
Yeah, I know. I really should. That was...
I know. Well, that's the thing.
I wish I was the kind of person that could follow a schedule. I wish, but I'm not. I'll write out a schedule for myself. I'll be like hour-long increments, and I don't. Like, I can't do it. I'm not that type A kind of person, unfortunately.
Well, because you get distracted, right? And then you get someone comes over, and then you want to hang out, and then I bother you and say, you got to do this. That's your point.
Yeah. So.
Well, what if you put less things on the schedule so it wasn't like hour by hour? It was like, okay, you got to get these 4 things done today. That kind of works for me. Like I'm not great on the hour by hour. If it's in my calendar, it's going to get done, but the other stuff kind of has to happen when it happens. So like if I said to myself though, I got to get these 4 things done today, I can usually accomplish that.
Yeah, I guess that's a better way of thinking about it. But honestly, I do this so I try to do tasks every single day, like that'll make me feel complete. And recently it just feels like no matter how many things I do, it's just not enough. Like I mean, for example, I had a workout class this morning, and usually I'd be like, oh my God, you did so much today with your day already. But now it's just become, oh, you just worked out. Like, but that's like a good amount. Like, I already left the house today. I mean, I know it's, the afternoon, but I've worked for you already.
I haven't worked out today. So, you're way
I know,
ahead of me. Not that I'm going to work out today anyways, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
It just feels...
You got to take the small wins.
Yeah, I guess I've been having a trouble doing that recently, I guess. Acknowledging the small wins.
Yeah, I would say that I think I'm having a little bit of trouble with that too. I have been a bit too hard on myself for stuff and getting frustrated at kind of really minor things. And I kind of have to look at the reason why. But when I think about the reason why, is it because I feel overwhelmed because I have too much on my plate? And so I need to figure out how to kind of allocate these things a little bit better. And once I get to the weekend, once I get through today, I think I'll be fine. It's just, I'm just not there yet.
I guess. Yeah, honestly, once I get this rental car call over with.
And you make it to the bar, you'll be just fine.
Yeah. I mean, I have to call them anyways because I just
this is making me laugh to no end.
Stop. What if I have to call them anyways because I wasn't able to online check in anyways, and I'm just like a little bit worried because I'm not 25.
Oh, well, I don't think you have to be, right?
No, it just like I want to make sure that because yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Let's see. What else am I overwhelmed about? You know, one of my biggest stresses in life. You're just gonna laugh at me all the time.
It's okay.
It's crochet. My crochet is the most overwhelming thing in my life, actually.
Because you're not doing enough of it?
Yes, because I set too high of expectations for what I want to get done. And then I get overwhelmed when they're not done.
See, this just shows a difference in perspective from, someone who's 21 to someone who's 52. Where for me, like getting to the bar a little bit late and first of all, it's going to save you from drinking too much, just so you know.
Yeah. Okay. All of this is fair. Okay. Once I say it out loud, it's ridiculous. But it feels like my chest is constricting. Like I feel the stress still.
Well, yeah, because you want to do everything when it's supposed to be done. And so the crocheting for me, like that would be something that is super relaxing because it's not that it's thoughtless. It's actually quite a bit of thought because you really have to focus on the patterns that you're doing. But for most people, it takes your mind off of something more stressful. So to make crocheting into stress, girl,
it's a skill. I know.
Yeah, you're very skilled in making everything into stress. But so my stresses are like, I think a little bit more adult like. So, financial stresses always, right?
Well, I'm in financial stress.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah, but if you have an issue, we'll pay for you. If I have an issue, nobody's paying for me. Or
I would if I could.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. So, okay, financial stresses and then work stresses and then house stresses. And then, I'm looking at the house and I was like, oh, there's a crack there. Like that needs to be dug out and filled. And
being a homeowner sounds like the most stressful thing in the world.
Well, you kind of constantly have to be checking things. Like when you go wrong, when you don't it's like, we're not people that hang out in the side yard or the whatever. And so like, there's been times where I've walked out. That was the crazy one where I literally couldn't find the dog. That was the night of the rabbit story where the dogs were eating baby rabbits.
Oh yeah.
It was awful. Anyways, but I walk out into the yard and I hear water spraying and I never would have walked out there if I wasn't looking for the dog, but there was a pipe broke on our dock and it was just spewing water everywhere. And so if I wouldn't have seen that, we would have had probably a $2,000 water bill. So, I mean, that was for a reason that I walked out there, but you constantly have to be checking everything in your house. When it rains, I look at the ceiling to make sure we don't have a leak. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So adulting is hard. Yes, I know.
Adulting is hard.
And that's when we let all these things build up, then it does become overwhelming. And we shouldn't let all these things build up. Like I should just say, take a breath, girl. None of this stuff
just kind
really
of hard.
matters.
It's kind of hard, like, to realize that when you're already in a routine. I think when you, like, for me, I am seeing moving as like such a fresh start to all of my routines as well. Like, yeah, like I should set daily, weekly, and monthly chores for myself. Like that would be the right thing to do. And hopefully I do that. But once you're already living in the situation, you're feeling like it's too far gone. Like there's no way to fresh start.
But that's
and I'm
true.
the kind of person, at least, that needs a fresh start.
I know you feel
I feel like I need a fresh start.
Yeah. But I know you feel like there's no, like you can't do a fresh start right now because like you're too into everything. But you could wake up tomorrow and say, okay, here's my schedule for today. I'm going to work for 2 hours. I'm going to go to the gym at this time. And I'm going to pick, I said 4 things, but you're going to pick one more thing.
Yeah.
And get it done.
Yeah.
And then you feel like you've accomplished it. It's the same thing when we went back to the thing about make your bed, right? It's that feeling of accomplishment that you got something done. So, and that's why I love my list so much, that I write a list and I cross things off the list. And I feel like that like sense of accomplishment for the small wins, that really helps me. So that's what I'm going to think about today when I go back, when I finish this and I go meditate and then I go back on my conference, that I'm really going to think about okay, what did I check off my list today? Instead of looking at the list and saying, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming.
I see that, but I don't know. Sometimes I think, especially in terms of like, I don't know, just general chores, I'm like so far behind that how could I even catch up? Or just...
Do you feel like it's a why bother?
A little bit of a why bother. Like, I can see the dust forming on my windowsill. Why bother?
Well, because you're breathing that in.
I live in New York City, bro.
Yeah, true.
That is the least of my worries of what I'm breathing in.
Okay, can we talk about this for a second? So I'm literally on my conference this morning and someone posts BRB. I'm in New York City and we're having an earthquake.
You're just going to laugh at me again because somehow my dumbass missed a fucking earthquake. My first earthquake ever. I was so excited when someone told me and I was like, wait, I was outside. I was coming back from my workout class. I was grabbing a smoothie and then I was walking down the street. I think I was on my phone. How did I miss an earthquake? Genuinely, how did I miss an earthquake?
Well, because maybe there's like, you're used to things rattling there and making noise there. So you didn't think about it.
Like my street is construction zone 101 24/7. So if I heard something, I probably was like, yeah, okay.
And so that added to my stress this morning is that I'm trying to reach you. I text you, no response. I was like, are you okay? Earthquake, ? I FaceTime you, no response. And you weren't in your workout class at this point. And I'm like, okay.
No, I was getting back.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just getting back from class. I got all my friends' smoothies. And then that's when they were talking about the earthquake because my other friend actually missed it too. And then I was like, oh, they're probably, I wonder if she knows yet. And you did. You knew before I did.
Yeah, because someone was like, "Be right back. We're having an earthquake. I gotta." And like it was a big earthquake, 4.7 for New York City. No aftershock.
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue. Like, I have felt nothing. I like if no one told me, I would have lived my life as a perfectly normal day.
So that added to my overwhelm today. Thinking, okay, is she okay? Like. She does live in an old building. Like, did the building fall down? And oh my gosh! I mean, after you saw the one the other day in Taiwan, I mean, it's very, very stressful to see things like that happen.
Yeah, no, that was. I don't know if any major destruction happened in New York. To be quite honest,
I really haven't looked at the news to see. I just saw that they did mention that it was 4.7, which again, I mean, pretty substantial.
Big. And I mean,
it lasted long too. That was the other thing that it was.
Yeah, that's apparently. I have no clue. Once again, I missed it, so I don't know how. It's like it's so embarrassing because I was completely awake, completely functioning, out in the streets, and I just missed an earthquake.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I really would want an earthquake, so I'm kind of okay.
I mean, it was my first one ever.
Okay, well,
I never had one.
Yeah, but you had one. You know, you were there. Doesn't matter that you didn't realize.
Like, that is just crazy.
Yeah, so I just think that we put too much pressure on ourselves to finish everything all the time and take everything personally. And that's how I feel like about my day to day, that I'm taking things too personally and that I need to just take a step back and say, okay, take a breath, girl.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I definitely think that's hard to like separate your emotions in that aspect. And like, I don't know. It's definitely frustrating because a lot of the times criticism can feel like attacking your personal character rather than like, you know, just the content you create.
Yeah, it's not the criticism part. It's the confusion part where I'm like, wait, but I feel like you can't give feedback on something if you haven't read the whole thing. And it's hard to tell a story, a 45-minute story in 3 minutes and make it make sense to someone, right? So feedback is always great, right? But when it becomes critical feedback, or how do you say it? When it becomes more like criticism, then it's hard to, it's kind of hard to digest that. And in the moment you get kind of frustrated. And so I got a little frustrated. I was like, okay, I'm confused because I'm getting 5 different things from five different people.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, take a breath, girl. Again, take another breath. Stop getting frustrated.
It's all about breathing.
And for one thing, just don't be rude. Like that was my thing too. I'm like, I was bordering on being angry about this. And then I literally had to say to myself, okay, this is not you. This is not what you need to be doing right now. You'll be fine. Keep going, keep working, go to your podcast and life will go on.
Yeah. Sorry. My Wi-Fi is actually, I keep getting a notification that my thing has to reconnect. So I don't know if I'm going in and out.
No, you're fine. And honestly, if the nice thing about this is that it records to your computer. Now the timing doesn't keep up. So like we're almost at time, obviously. And it only shows that we've been, yeah. Cause when I looked at my clock, it was like, yes, we are. So, but this thing isn't keeping up, right?
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and this is what it did to us the other day. So
much more sense.
Yeah, you've been talking to me for almost 30 minutes now. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, that was another overwhelming thing. You know, we have these guests on the podcast, and I didn't realize that the timer sometimes doesn't keep up. Like it will pause. So if someone's internet connection isn't great, it pauses. And so I'm looking at it, and it's like 19 minutes, 42 seconds. 19 minutes, 42 seconds. And I'm like, okay, it's been way more than that. Right. And we went,
makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, we did a 45-minute episode and we recorded for an hour and 15 minutes and it was all good stuff. So we couldn't even cut it out, but it's like, okay, take a breath. That's going to be my new thing. I'm going to say all day long today. Take a breath.
Yeah. Well,
I think I need to.
I think just being overwhelmed is a part of life, unfortunately.
Yeah, and some days are worse than others. And we have to remind ourselves that it will get better. It will get better, and not to let these little things creep up on us and just say, okay, does this really matter? At the end of the day, is this going to be a life-altering moment or it's just a simple frustration? Most of the time, for me, it's a simple frustration and I'm letting it take over, which I know better. I know that I don't need to do this, but it's kind of like when you don't sleep enough and you have all these different things coming at you at once, then it's easy to let it happen. So that's the goal, not to let it happen. Tell me about your calendar for today. Oh, finish.
I was just going to say, I think my goal is most days just to get through the day.
Yeah, but that's not a great goal, just to get through the day. You got to enjoy living your day.
I know. And it's just when do you find the balance between getting all your stuff done and enjoying what you're doing?
Well, I don't really believe so much in balance. I think there's compromise a lot and you have to, but that goes back to the scheduling piece where you have to find time for yourself. So you'll see people who will literally schedule in, and not just workout time, but their date night, their private time, their whatever they need to kind of feel good. Yeah. Right. And they literally schedule it out. That doesn't work for me, but we have date night. That's what your dad and I have. But in terms of other stuff, I feel like sometimes I have a ton of work and I just have to get it done. And sometimes I have more family time and that's what I'm going to do. But and I know a lot of people do believe in balance, but I think with having 6 kids and crazy lives, that just doesn't work for me.
You give and you take.
Yeah, exactly. It's give and take. It's compromise.
My calendar today is
There was an earthquake, girl. There was an earthquake, girl. Why didn't you notice it? That was your calendar.
Literally. Can you imagine? We never really have all the facts. As humans, we still only understand a tiny fraction of our own minds, let alone the world or the oceans or space or technology. If someone tells you they have all the answers, call them out on that bullshit. The truth is they're winging it just like you, just like everyone else.
I think that fits pretty well, actually, right? I mean, we're all kind of winging it, right?
Like, 100%.
There's definitely things that we've studied more about and we understand more about, but we don't have the answer to everything. What we have is life experiences, and we can say what worked for us. And if what works for us can help another person, then we absolutely should be sharing that stuff all the time. And that's why we do this podcast.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree.
If you enjoy our podcast, we would love for you to leave a comment, rate us, share us with friends, and make sure you go into our show notes and download my positive affirmation guide. It's something that I do beyond meditation, where it really helps me focus on all of the great things that are happening, all of the good things about me, so that I can move through my day not like I am today, with with less anxiety and with less overwhelm. That's the goal. So thank you for joining us on this week's episode. We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Daughter Dearest podcast with Simone and Olivia Knego. We hope this episode has made your day just a little bit brighter and given you the inspiration you need to confidently go about your week. Always remember to be authentically you. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And feel free to connect with them on Instagram at Daughter Dearest Podcast, at Simone Knego, and at Olivia Knego. Till next time.